Welcome back to another episode of the Tropicalcast. My name is Gabe. I'm joined by my friends Cullen and Nathan.
It
What's
went
up,
up me
guys?
with two hands.
I suppose this is we should talk.
Jazz hands. What's up with you two? What's going on?
What a hiatus!
I know, yeah.
It's not the longest hiatus there's ever been, but
True. Our
I would
writers
go to
are
Creed.
on strike.
yeah, Creed's hiatus was so bad they went to different bands. They rebounded.
Speaking of hiatus, Cullen, have you heard the new songs from Extreme,
No,
the band?
nope.
They're pretty good.
I didn't even know they were back.
Yeah, they're back.
Huh.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time since we've recorded. I'm glad we found time to do it. 'Cause, yeah, I'm sure we've been busy playing lots of games. I thought we could start there first, just talk about what we've been playing, and then I've got a little game to play afterwards. A game of Would You Rather. So, who wants to share
right.
first what they've been playing?
I will step to the front and report. I have been into 3 different games, each one kind of at a different stage of the completion. How close I am to completing the game. I'm nearly wrapped up with Link's Awakening on the Switch. That has been. I'm at the final dungeon, and that has been. It will be my first Zelda game, Link game I've ever played, and it was really great to kind of stretch a different brain muscle when it comes to playing games. Those aren't that kind of game isn't something I'm regularly into, so it was good to just go back into it. I always love games that have kind of in-house note-taking features or pinning features, particularly that would just create advantages for the player. So going through a dungeon and using a heart to note, where some like a health pickup is, or like even like a spade, a spade of cards. I see that as like arrows because it looks like an arrowhead to me. So it was like just being able to use like the map pinning features, and anything really note taking in games is always so fun because you kind of feel like you're taking an extra step of involvement towards the game, and you can refer upon your notes later. And then kind of I'm nearly wrapped up at the end. Then I'm still stuck in the middle of the incredibly long game, The Witcher. The Witcher 3. That's a project that just requires to have segmented visits, spending time with it and then dipping away to play other stuff so I don't feel too fatigued. And then it was like there was a day earlier this week where it was kind of a rough day, and I impulse bought Last of Us Part 1 on PC and just started playing that on Survivor difficulty.
Oh,
I know I might be biting off more than I can, than my time or my energy can chew, but that has been a little bit of a trip down memory lane. I'm not too far. I just got out of the QZ right into downtown Boston, and just trying to reflect on, I think, just being more tactical in the game. And I remember in my first playthrough back in 2013, I would use a bottle or a brick probably like every 15 minutes. But now, like every encounter in this difficulty mode, I'm having to use multiple bricks and bottles just to get past people. And so it is forcing it's forcing me to play in a way that it's conserving ammo, and more is about slipping past enemies. Of course, at this point, it's only been human enemies, so I'm yet to encounter the infected and the clickers, and I'm trying to recall if there's much difference in the mechanics there. But yeah, it's we'll see if I exercise and stress level playing that game again, given the difficulty mode, and I'm also having a tab open to look at collectibles, so I pick those up along the way. Because I think this is a run that probably be my last run of the game, maybe. I mean, I understand Grounded. It's pretty much just Survivor, but the HUD off. Is that right? Does that sound right, Colin?
Do you have listening mode in Survivor?
No.
Okay, then yeah. Grounded though is so fun.
Okay. It's I am trying to get an accurate sense of expectations about how thorough I should look into rooms and spaces that are off the beaten path to find scissors or to find bandages or whatnot, things that I can scavenge together, because I know that kind of playthrough. I mean, this kind of playthrough is going to require being very just being mindful of those things, and also understanding like firefly pendants. You always got to keep one bullet in your gun to grab one of those, because if they're hanging off in the tree, there's no other way you can get it down. I understand. So
yeah, well, you can throw bricks at some of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Or bottles.
Yeah. I'm just. Yeah, the fact that it's the third iteration of the game just I don't know, maybe I'm not thinking of too many other games, but that just seems like it speaks to the impact and the perspective of many gamers towards that game, and that we're all willing to buy it a third time, as I have, and well, I don't know if I technically bought the PS3 one, but then I bought the PS4 one, and now I bought my third one, and I'm just like, I got to have this in every library I can. But yeah, well, yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the playthrough unfolds.
How'd you get into playing Link's Awakening? What drew you to it?
Well, I think I had found. I think Link's Awakening. The format, the structure of the game, the feeling of being able to make progress in bite-sized chunks through a dungeon. Again, going back to that map pinning feature, being able to make 15 to 30-minute progress on it, which, thanks to you, Gabe, like our conversation about finding ways to find different places to game, such as at work, allowed me to kind of see the Switch as like a really, like, it's in that great spot for me to do that, and to be able to switch off my brain and to relax a little bit, but also engage it at the same time. Which Link's Awakening is that. I mean, it's got that puzzle aspect to it. And the one thing I don't like about Link's Awakening is the overworld navigation. I've had to, because I think it's my first Zelda game, and it's also the game where I haven't been able to. I didn't realize how much I really needed to dedicate my attention to the things that the characters say. That being able to read those things, retain that information, then go to the next step was kind of challenging for me, because I'm like, wow, I really got to read what people are saying and take things kind of literally sometimes. Like, here's this song, here's this tune for your ocarina. It's going to awaken dead things. And then having to go around the town, found out, there's a skeleton of a fish that, it's completely two separate incidents, but just being able to connect the two is a way of thinking that in a video game that I haven't seen very recently. or I haven't at least given myself the opportunity to focus on that, or I haven't been able to. But now I have, thanks to being able to play at work and to pick up at home when I have time.
Hell yeah! Shout out to the Switch, honestly. I've been playing
Yeah, a little
Zelda
bit.
as well. So I bought Breath of the Wild at launch. At the midnight launch for the Switch. This is the first game that I played on it. I probably played like 30 hours. I defeated 3 out of the 4 divine beasts, and then for some reason I just dropped it. I feel like I started playing Horizon, maybe, and I just didn't go back to it for a long time. And then I tried to pick it up here and there, like when the DLC packs came out, but it just didn't click again for me. So then I picked it up probably a month and a half ago again, just to get hyped for Tears of the Kingdom. And I replayed through the whole thing, and I beat it last night, and it was awesome. It was really cool. Yeah, the final boss fight, definitely the most epic of any like Zelda final boss fight. Like they went in with the orchestra in like the last part of the game. Like it similar to how like with what Nathan was saying with the map and being able to like pinpoint things kind of makes you feel like you're a adventurer. Just the set pieces and the music at the end of Breath of the Wild makes you feel like a hero. It was so cool, and just the game in general. I'm not as high on it as other people. I like that it kind of goes off the beaten path of like normal normal Zelda games, but I think that's both a good and bad thing. Um, I didn't really like the structure of the dungeons. I think the world might have been too big and empty. Um, where it could have kind of been the same size but still be full of things to do. But that's probably hard to do with the Switch's hardware. I wish I could carry like unlimited, unlimited weapons. But I guess that's like a gameplay feature, I know. But no, it was cool. Yeah, that's been the main game I've been playing. And I just picked up Fire Emblem Engage at my library today. I'm gonna get into that next.
So are you getting Tears of the Kingdom on day one?
I'm not. No. I'm gonna wait. I might actually try to play Hyrule Warriors before I play that, just to get more involved with the lore, the backstory of that timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the I was just going to ask, can you speak more to your perspective on the dungeons and what you didn't like about them?
It just felt samey. And I know most like in Zelda games, like dungeons are the same thing. You just go and you have to find the compass, got to find the map, got to find the big key to fight the boss. Do you get some kind of like key item to use the rest of your journey? But somehow in previous games they made each dungeon seem unique, whereas in Breath of the Wild it was you just had to activate the map and then activate the terminals and then beat basically the same boss in each dungeon. I thought the divine beasts were cool as a concept and cool as like a cool as a piece of lore in that world, like to what they did. just never looked forward to going inside the dungeon and beating it essentially.
I didn't really get into Breath of the Wild that much. I beat 2 of them at launch, and then I sold my Switch, and that was before the cloud backup. So basically, probably never going to go back to that.
Yeah.
But I have been playing mostly 2 things. I started Klonoa 2 earlier this week.
Yeah. Nice.
After a couple-week delay after I beat the first one. And I also started Muramasa Rebirth on my Vita.
Okay.
Nate, did you ever play that? No. All right. You look like you're going to say something. There you go.
No, I was shifting through tabs just to look up the games you were mentioning, and I scrambled to get to the mute.
I owned it, but I never played it.
So okay, hold on. Let me see if this works. It has some of a beautiful design. I don't know if you can see this. Look at this. No, not with the.
Is it like a Oh, it's a what am I thinking about? It's not a Souls-like, is it? It's more like a Dead Cells kind of deal, like a.
It's like a Metroidvania.
Okay.
There's like a map you can pull up. This is not the best camera, but I don't know, like especially on this OLED Vita, like the colors are so vibrant, and Vanillaware has their really nice artistic design. Like they made Dragon's Crown. I don't remember if Gabe you played that with us, but I know me, Brett, and Nate played that. And then 13 Sentinels. And they have Odin's Sphere, so they have a lot of stuff. Very great design, always. Also, the soundtrack kind of slaps. So that's pretty cool. What else? Otherwise, I've been playing a little bit of stuff on my GBA SP here and there, but nothing too deep, really. Oh, I've been getting into like puzzle games when I just have a little bit of time. There's always like Puyo Puyo. Also, I don't know if you guys have heard of Magical Drop.
It does sound familiar.
It's hard to describe. You like have to connect 4 of a color like every other puzzle game, but it's like set on I think there's 8 rows, and you can like pick a color from any row if they're the same, and then you just throw it onto the same color. I don't know, that's the best way I can describe it, but
okay, yeah.
Where are you finding games like this, or how are you getting? Yeah, there's not. Yeah, I just want to know how you're getting plugged into these kind of archaic games.
Well, in my searches of Sega Saturn Japanese games and playing Neo Geo Pocket games, stuff like that comes up a lot on these more niche systems, I would say. I don't know. That's my only answer. There's like 2 magical drops on the Saturn. There's magical drop on the Neo Geo Pocket. They both have Puyo Puyo also, but obviously I've been playing that for years. Yeah, I don't know. Just when you just have a little bit of time and you can just throw in a puzzle game and not have to think too hard, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Pick up and play.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. Nothing really too deep right now, but I haven't got a platinum trophy since February, so that's why I'm trying to finish Klonoa.
Sure.
And that's a long drought for me, 3 months. So yeah, time to get a platinum.
Where are you gonna go to for that platinum for the next one?
The next one after Klonoa?
Oh, okay, never mind.
Klonoa is pretty easy. Basically, just beat the game in free all the spirits or whatever. So I just gotta beat Klonoa 2, basically, yeah.
And was that ported to the current gen systems, or is it being played on like a PS2 or something?
Klonoa?
Yeah, the second one.
They're both on that collection.
Oh,
values, yeah.
sure. Okay,
So it's on the PS4 or 5, yeah.
nice.
All right, well, I'm excited to hear this. Would you rather?
Yeah, me too. I was trying to think of just evergreen topic ideas. I've got a list of about 20. I don't think we need to get through all of them, but I'll try to pick out ones that I think could be a point of discussion for us. First one. So, Sega is killing one franchise. Would you rather it be Yakuza or Persona?
Fudge. I'm gonna pick Persona, which sounds terrible, but only because they only put out one like main Persona game every at this rate every 6-7 years. So versus a new Yakuza almost every year or two. So that would be my only reason.
I would agree. Yakuza seems to be, as I understand it, the franchise that has dipped its toes into different waters and going turn-based and continuing either continuing that route or exploring other genres to carry the story forward, which I think brings some diversity to the play styles, which I understand Persona, even though they're really great stories and amazing systems, probably you're not going to evolve too much beyond what we've seen. I don't know, Colin, would you agree with that? And Gabe, I don't know if you two have both played 4 and 5, but does that seem accurate?
Well, I mean, you don't forget they also have Persona dancing, fighting.
Okay, yeah,
Persona
right.
Dynasty Warriors, whatever.
Wow, I totally slipped. I forgot about those.
But again, those, I mean, yeah, I think that's the Dynasty Warriors type one. Mosu, whatever. But I still think I would, Yakuza has, Ishin. They have Judgment. They have regular Yakuzas. So they have the RPG ones now. So yeah. So I still would rather pick that.
I think I would choose to kill off Yakuza. And I guess that's a hot take between all three of us. But that's just based on me playing close to 80 hours of Persona and having beaten 2.5 Yakuza games. I guess just as a preference, I just like the gameplay loop of Persona more than Yakuza, even though the drama in Yakuza is a lot more thick than Persona and much more entertaining. It's hard. I don't know.
I thought you were gonna pick Sonic or something instead of Persona, and that would have been an easy choice.
Right.
But yeah, that's their two best properties right now, Persona and Yakuza.
Yeah. Next one. Would you rather live in a world where we never got the Vita or the Wii U?
Wii U, easy.
Wii U, I already forget about it sometimes.
Dang. I would say the Vita.
They're just going to disagree with everything we say.
He'll be the contrarian.
Yeah.
It's weird because I think both the Vita and the Wii U helped realize what the Switch is basically, but in slightly different ways. The Vita basically does everything the Switch does except dock itself. But then they did have the PS TV, which is basically a docked version of this. But the Wii U, you could play it on the gamepad or the TV, but you had to be within close proximity of the console to play on the gamepad. So you couldn't take it anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. But why would you pick the Vita?
Yeah. You're asking me why would I want to keep the Vita around?
No, sorry, I was asking Gabe why you would choose to kill or never have the Vita.
I just feel like if PlayStation had put in more first party support, my answer would be different.
This is true.
I think the Wii U has better first party games, but the Vita has probably better third party games.
This is also true.
I guess I'm a bigger Uncharted fan than both of you.
Nice, true, nice.
You're right. I'll sit down. I'm already sitting, but I'll sit down again.
Funny you mentioned first party games because they both, in a world where Sony and Nintendo consoles have amazing first party support, the Vita and the Wii U both didn't have very good first party support. More so the Vita. The Wii U did, but compared to like every other Nintendo console.
Yeah.
My mind is going back to what you had said, Colin, of truly the meme of the Wii U walked so that the Switch ran. I wonder how accurate that really is.
I think I agree.
I'm not sure.
But what the Vita gives you is easily hackable, so you can put. People this year alone have ported like native ports of like San Andreas, Vice City, Dead Space, Ignition. I think like they're porting Android games to the Vita natively.
Crazy.
There's like a Super Mario 64 Vita port, native port. So it's not like emulating or anything. It's a native port. It's got like HD texture pack in it. It's got 60 FPS. So, stuff like that. And then all the emulators you can put on it. PS1 and PSP games. So it's cool, yeah. And the SD card hack, of course.
Right. Well, it's more mobile than the Wii U. That's for sure.
Speaking of it, I have the Wii U gamepad literally right here too.
How do you have both those things?
Practical mobile.
Just say something and I'll just pull it up. We got a Saturn controller right here.
Oh wow. Snickers bar. That's not a gaming
SP.
console.
SP.
Switch.
We're not even saying these things. You're just pulling them out.
Wait. Pixel 4 XL.
It's random.
It's a gaming device, right?
Kind of. Anyway, enough
Okay,
things out of my pocket.
Next
Magical pocket.
Would you rather only play games that have released in the last 10 years or play games released more than 10 years ago?
That's a tough one.
Good. That's what I wanted.
I'm going to go, I'm going to go over 10. And only reason is because I think if you had said 15, my answer would probably be different.
Okay,
But
it's 15.
no, like Bloodborne is like the best game in the last 10 years, for me at least, because that was 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably we probably know, my second favorite game ever. But Uncharted 2 was 14 years ago. And then, if you go beyond that, you have, like the Jack and Daxters, the good Ratchet and Clanks, and then you go back to the PS1, N64, Sega Saturn, Super Nintendo Genesis, and there's so many classic games back then that are still playable today. Versus a lot of newer games I kind of find myself not liking as much as I should. Like Ragnarok, I didn't even really like it that much. It was one of the biggest games of last year.
Yeah.
There's still many great modern games, which is why it's a hard choice, but there's so many great games from the last, more than 10 years ago that it's just more variety, I guess.
I would probably have like a similar answer, where if it was 15 years, my answer would be different. But I think I would choose to play games released in the last 10 years, just because I've like the kind of gaming profile I've attained over the last 10 years. I feel like that's me. Like my preferences lie in the games I've played in the last 10 years. Mostly 3D games. I think it's hard for me to revisit older games like Mega Man or Castlevania that are kind of made to be difficult so that you can get more value out of that game. Whereas games in the past 10 years, I think there's like more options for them to be easy, because I'm kind of a baby and like to play games on easy modes. Um, and I think back to our podcast like 2 episodes ago, where we talked about, or maybe that was the last episode, where we talked about our favorite retro consoles, and I think of the GameCube. Like not being able to play those games ever again, that would suck.
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance. I'd still choose games in the last 10 years, because there's so many bangers. There's Zeldas, your Horizons, Personas, Pokemans.
Unironically, Pokemans. Well, Nathan?
Clarifying question I have. This is in the sense of a game's release date, not a system that had been on, like, for example, a remake of Last of Us post 2013. Does that count?
That would count. Yeah. The PC port, that would count.
Okay. Yeah. Then the last 10 years is the 10 years I'd wanna keep around. Similar to Gabe, I think there's just a wider array of types of games that people can get into, that I can get into. I understand, much of the network and the technological framework that comes along with the last 10 years, being able to, where multiplayer games are now, where technology itself is now. I think I'd much rather have that diversity, knowing that there is assuredly some gems in there that I don't even, maybe none of us have known about, but we do know the big ones. But there's just been a wide array of those games. I can think of how many simulation games, like factory simulation games, that are available. That I can't think of such a wide set of those games being available in previous generations. And that's just like a very specific subgenre, right? You got Factorio, got Satisfactory, then you got like just a bunch of other factory simulation games, a very specific subgenre that has only been available for the last less than 10 years. VR, I've never done. I played a little bit Gabe's Place one time, but even that small experience was like, it just speaks to me that there's so much technological advancement in the last 10 years that would make me want to stick around to see those experiences. But it also sucks because assuredly there are. It is a weird question, because you feel like there's just a ton of games that are going to be locked away, in that scenario. But that's what I would do.
So I'm the odd man out this time.
You are. Here's an old fart that likes old games. Old games are old.
True.
This is a question for Cullen, maybe. Would you rather Insomniac still be making Spyro games or Naughty Dog still be making Crash Bandicoot games?
I say Spyro games were better than Crash, so I will take Insomniac. Also, I think Insomniacs would still have the capability to make a great Spyro. Okay, that sounds bad. Like, Naughty Dog could obviously make a great Crash still. But, like, versus, like, Naughty Dog has moved on from, like, cartoony games, yet
Right.
Insomniac's still making Ratchet, so they kind of still have at least they have like the magic touch still that they could make a Spyro if they really wanted to. And it wouldn't be that challenging, I'd say. Remember when they came out and said they're about to make a Jak and Daxter 4, but it got morphed into The Last of Us, basically? Because they were trying to make it too realistic, and then it was just like, this isn't even Jak and Daxter anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm going with this, yeah.
And Jak and Dexter, Joel and Ellie.
Yeah. Imagine The Last of Us is the same exact game, except it's Jak and Daxter instead of Joel and Ellie. How would that game turn out?
Daxter would be freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Or what a different world we'd live in if that was the game that came out.
Yeah. Imagine if we got like a reboot of Crash Bandicoot from Naughty Dog. It's like gritty, like grounded.
He bites people's like arms off or something. Oh boy.
Troy Baker voices Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. This is a dark timeline we're in.
Yeah.
Every time I think of gritty being used as an adjective for piece of media, I always think of the Dark Knight trilogy. That my name never escapes from that. Convoluted story plots and grounded human characters.
True.
Yeah. Great trilogy.
Time to go mobile. I think I would choose Spyro 2. Because if they could just do what they did with Ratchet and Clank on PS5 with the Spyro, it would look so pretty. And like the humor is pretty similar.
Yeah. I think also the games are just slightly better. If you're talking PS1, Crash versus Spyro.
Yeah.
Not that Crash isn't fun or good, but
he doesn't breathe fire.
Yeah, and it's like a 2D game, but instead of going this way. So, but it's in 3D. The characters, you know what I'm talking about. But
yeah.
Versus Spyro, for one, you could fly too, or glide or whatever, and then you can breathe fire, and you have to rescue more dragons. Like it's cool, yeah. And it's not as challenging, which again, sometimes you want a challenge, sometimes you don't. Spyro, you can just relax and be like, I'm gonna go breathe some fire at dudes. Yeah.
Nathan, did you want to answer that, or did you answer that?
I guess I would say Spyro. Just because you can play the first Crash in Uncharted 4.
Fair.
There you go. Can't play Spyro anywhere else, I don't think.
Now all the PS1 games had demos of each other, if you didn't know that. Well, starting with Crash 2 and Spyro 1. So Crash 2 had a Spyro 1 demo and Spyro 1 had a Crash 2 demo. And then they kept doing that until the end of the PS1 era.
Different times. Wow.
And Spyro Year of the Dragon has the full game of Crash Bash in it on accident because they like put a demo for it in, but you can actually access the dev menu if you put in a certain code at the main menu in the demo of Crash Bash, which then unlocks the whole game. Yeah. If you didn't know, chat, now you know.
Well, if you know, you know.
You know. Okay, this one's a silly one. Maybe we just do like two or three more.
That's good.
Would you rather play every game for the rest of your life on a N64 controller or a Wiimote?
Uh,
And I should clarify, a Wiimote with no nunchuck attached to it.
Those are both terrible options. I'm going to choose the Wiimote because the buttons are better and it's way more comfortable to hold. But yeah, I mean, the N64 is a really bad controller, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And like playing Smash Bros. Brawl or Mario Kart with the Wii remote is not bad. But, you know, if I was playing, I'm just trying to think of like Elden Ring with either of those.
Yeah.
It's probably equally bad on both, but people, you know, be beating Dark Souls on Dance Dance Revolution pads, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I would probably say the 64 controller, just for the analog. No matter, I know where the insane placement of it is. That seems like a crucial need. At least, I think directional pad buttons in current games have somewhat, what I understand, maybe less functionality than the other face buttons that could be used. I suppose. Well, I guess they have two sets of directional buttons, don't they? They have the gray one on the left, and then the yellow
C
C buttons. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'd stick with N64.
Okay.
I think I would too, for the same reasons. The analog and the C buttons could be used to control the cameras in most games. And that's something I've come to really enjoy with gaming, is that I can control the camera.
True. Yeah, the analog was the main thing I was going for with the 64 controller, but
yeah,
it's just everything else I don't like. And you don't get any rumble because you omitted having the rumble pack.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right.
Make your own rumble, shake it.
Wait till your analogs like top comes off and all you have left is the pokey part like we used to for Kaylee.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's child hazard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that young GameStop in the 90s.
Okay.
Anyway.
Would you rather that you can only play indie games for the rest of your life, or AAA games for the rest of your life?
Just going back to the previous question, just what a dystopian situation that is.
Yeah.
Like, that's some stuff that people would be doing in like the Boston QZ. We got these two controllers to play.
Oh man.
That's terrified.
Yeah.
Which one do you think Joel would pick?
Probably the 64 controller, because it looks like it would hurt if you threw it more.
True.
Got those three prongs. Just imagine him bashing the clicker's head on with the N64.
We need somebody to edit the video of him throwing a brick.
Oh.
But it's an N64 controller.
Why craft a shiv when you can craft a N64 controller?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Gabe, could you repeat that question again?
Yeah. Would you rather that you can only play indie games for the rest of your life, or AAA games.
Does the other tier of games exist in the world? It's just what I can play personally.
Just what you could play personally.
Uh-huh.
It's like you go to, let's say you pick Indie Nathan, and you go on Steam to buy like The Last of Us, and it's like you have chosen indie only.
Error 404.
So like lets you click on it and watch all the previews and read the reviews, but it physically the buy button is grayed out.
Cloudflare server error.
It's like when you're born, it's like the first question the doctor asks you is indie or AAA, and then it's like ingrained in, it's like ingrained in your whole body, and everything knows. Yeah.
Somehow.
What a terrible world we're creating today.
True. I think I would choose AAA. Like I love indie games, but I think I just get more. I think AAA games are more of a known quantity for me when spending money.
I would say AAA because I just get more enjoyment out of AAA. You know, there's obviously some not everyone enjoys every AAA game, obviously, but I have enjoyed more AAA games than indie games. So.
I would probably also say AAA. Mostly, I took it more of as like again, these questions are just getting more and more reflective of a world setting that's happening. But the idea that at least indies are out there. At least indie companies are a thing. At least we're not all dominated by mega corporations. So if looks like I'll have to deal with the server error 404, but hey, not for all games. So probably AAA, I guess. That's a hard one.
Means you couldn't play To the Moon.
Well, I have played it.
True.
I can always replay my memory.
What it really means is you can't play
shit.
You can't play My Pregnant Wife or Mascot Serial Racing.
Were those truly indie?
Mm-hmm.
What is indie?
Yeah, what games? There's so many games to sift through.
Sifu.
I think Sifu is like AA to me.
Yeah.
Well, let us know in the comments, boys, what you think Sifu is. I could see that. So are we also just omitted from AA?
Yeah. Well, no.
No?
That could be its own separate thing. You can still play those games.
Well, that's good.
I think.
Well, that means I could play Sifu and Uncharted. So
It's not
my
a bad
life is
outcome.
Yeah, my life is complete if I pick AAA and the chat considers Sifu a AA.
Okay, last question. Final question. Dig into your brains for this one and give me a good answer, okay? Would you rather place your bets on Mario or Sonic in a fight? And I'll say a fist fight. They don't have access to their power-ups, including Sonic's speed.
Well, that's just him. I'm going to still say Sonic because, for one, just moving, he is faster. Even if he's not, speeding.
Yeah.
Mario's kind of fat. So, for one, that means he's slower. And two, that means he's more likely to get tired quicker. So, yeah, his punches might hurt more. But also, Sonic is a hedgehog and he can poke him with his spikes. And then, but even if it's just fist to fist, I think Sonic would take it eventually due to stamina.
I think Mario, just due to He's mostly human, I feel like. So he's got human strength.
It's got opposable thumbs, baby.
So does Sonic.
Sonic does, weirdly
Does
enough.
it? Really? It's gonna be a dangerous Google search. Sonic the Hedgehog fingers.
I bet there's at least 12 fanfics right on your screen right now.
You all are right. Yeah, it looks like he does. Okay, sorry. Continue, Gabe.
No, yeah, I think Mario. Perhaps them having access to their power-ups would be more of a interesting conversation. Then I would probably choose Sonic.
Well, he's basically Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
And he can fly.
I'd say Mario. He has had to deal with
A lot of princess captures.
the stereotypical New Yorkers growing up. Yeah, and I say stereotypical. Sonic had a silver spoon in Green Hill Country. He's soft.
Wow.
I think Mario's a plumber. Sonic, I think without the powers, would lose. I think Mario would, just through physical strength, be able to overwhelm Sonic. Plus, he's got girth. So, Sonic looks he looks kind of frail, honestly.
Oh, I thought you said Earth, like the planet Earth.
Mario
has Earth. Like, what does that mean?
No, Mario has
a spirit bomb.
Sonic just looks he just looks frail.
He does.
And it does. Yeah, I give it to Mario.
Well, also in the chat, YouTube or otherwise, you can please answer all of these questions yourself too.
Yeah. We'd love to see your answers.
There were some great questions. I think we should start next time with Brett with some more of your unused questions.
I've got more. Yeah.
Yeah. Just so he can get in on a couple of them as well.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah, this was some good discussion, boys. This has been another episode of Tropicalcast. I've been Gabe. This has been Cullen and Nathan. Stay tuned for our next episode.
And don't
See
forget
you
check
all
out
later.
Sega Saturdays by Cullen on
Sega
Tropical
Saturdays.
Mix.
Sega Saturdays.
Sega.
Nate, you should record that next time you come over so we can add that to the beginning of every clip.
We should. I will.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember what that sounded like. Well, good thing we have it recorded.
Yeah, true.
There it is.
Also, come get your phone charger.
Yeah, it's been a struggle.
I can only imagine. Not having 4 phone chargers.
Well, so some of the chargers have left the house. So there's really only one here that I understand. Wait, are you talking about your house or mine?
Yours.
Yeah, some of them have left the house.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
They just left. Said goodbye. We'll USB-C you later.
You should just leave. Oh, God.
Also, one last thing. Sonic's shoes, he would not have the footwork for, those are really clunky shoes. I should look up Mario's shoes. It's kind of a determining factor on this.
I mean, look at Mario's weight.
Look,
probably like 310 pounds.
That's not true
I'm
at all.
not, I mean, yeah, his.
I'll look it up.
No. What is Mario's weight?
Hell no.
136 pounds? Like,
Yeah.
where is that cannon?
Yeah, that's less
Where
than
is that
me.
ever-
Bro, I'm 140. This dude's fat. Tell me that's 136. That's 136 in the tummy.
It's all those mushrooms.
This is
Mushrooms
why.
are-
Have you ever looked up? I don't know. This episode's never going to end at this rate, but let me show you this.
This is our first Minnesota goodbye on a podcast episode.
Okay, Ryu from Street Fighter. His cannon height is 5'10". Guess what his cannon weight is?
I don't know.
So
210?
big buff Ryu from Street Fighter is 150.
Hmm.
How?
It's just very weird. And he's 5'1" or 5'10". 5'10".
Wow.
Yeah, 5'10". Good times. I think it's. I think I read this somewhere, and this might sound racist, but it's because Japanese people are smaller, so they don't want to make somebody like 200 pounds because like it's one of their characters, because then it won't seem as accurate, I guess. I think I read that somewhere.
How much does Kevin?
10? Great question.
I have a just a quick comment on that. Part of my work involves looking at like pretty basic health data about people from other countries across the world. And it's often strange how quickly, like how people here in America, how we see obesity and overweight. I think we see it as kind of like it's endemic, and we're not really too focused on it as a public. At least for the general well-being of the public, I think people concerned about their own health is a thing, and their close members. But when I look at paperwork from overseas, like people who are very healthy weights, they rely on BMI and that body mass index to quickly say if somebody's obese or overweight. And it is a little bit. I think it's just more indicative about how unhealthy our country is. But anyway, that's just a thought that made me think about what you said, Cullen, because how different countries across the world view body types, and yeah, there's something there, I guess. Maybe.
That's fair. I don't have anything to add, though.
You're not obligated to.
Oh, that's good.
Am I?
Yes. No, both of you are not obligated.
All right.
It does say something about you, doesn't it? All right, I'm being
Weird.
I'm being weird. Thank you. That's a good word for it. All right, should we conclude for real?
We probably should, huh?
I thought I wrapped things up.
Yeah, and then Nate had to say something about shoes, so we just kept going.
Sonic's look at his flat foot shoes. Like he's not mobile. He's
Mobile.
he's quite, when you strip him of his powers, he seems, well, he's flat footed.
Nate, it looks like we're in like the same place because our walls are like the same color.
It's because we are. Hey, Cullen.
Nate.
That's the wrong way. Now,
Yeah.
Gabe, you have to look that way. Say, hey, Cullen.
Hey, Colin.
But I'm on the bottom on my screen.
Oh,
The bottom.
some multiverse of madness right there.
Why don't we just end this now? Gabe, do another goodbye, please.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening through this podcast. We hope to have you listen again. Peace out.
So long.
See ya.